The age-old question facing anyone who cycles to work or to university or to school is how best do you carry your essentials? Now, whether that's like a laptop or a full change of clothes or possibly both, it's a question that can very much weigh you down.
And there are three main options. There's the rucksack, shouldering the weight, or slinging the weight across the back of your bike, panniers, a bit old school, or the new and trendy option of the giant saddlebag. Now, both of these two obviously leave you unencumbered, but they do transform your trusty steed.
They do. So each system is going to have its relative merits. But what we really want to know, and we suspect secretly you will do too, is which of them is the fastest? What is the most aerodynamic way of carrying your stuff?
It's the GCN Commute Aero Challenge.
Ah, that could be a hashtag right there. Commute Aero. To find the answer to this slightly harebrained question, we have enlisted the support of several engineers who are based here at the world-famous wind tunnel at the Politecnico, Milano.
Would this actually change how you carry your stuff to work, Si?
Yeah, you know what, I think it would actually. I normally use a rucksack because it's easy and because it leaves my bike feeling light and unencumbered. But if I could shave off some time, definitely would. The Politecnico Milano tunnel is called a closed circuit tunnel, and it actually has two test rooms along its length. Wind is generated by 14 fans. Each is 1.8 metres in diameter and requiring a total of 1.4 megawatts of power. One room is used primarily for civil engineering testing, so bridges, wind turbines and the like, and it can create turbulent wind conditions. The other room is much smaller and it gives very stable wind conditions, which is perfect for testing bikes, riders and luggage, which, funnily enough, they haven't ever had to test before.
Our super commuter bike here is rigged up in the wind tunnel. Si will ride it for 6 minutes at a time, whilst the total drag of him plus bike is measured and recorded in the data acquisition centre outside the tunnel. Now, the first 2 minutes of each test will be into a straight-on headwind, and then to measure different crosswinds, what we'll do is rotate the entire platform on a turntable, which will put him at different angles to the wind called yaw angles.
This is my actual backpack. I wanted something that was small and also super lightweight, and it ticks both of those boxes. It's been great, to be honest with you. What's in it will vary on a given day, but as a minimum, I will have, of course, a pump and also a multi-tool and a tube, my laptop, and then I'd take a spare pair of socks, a pair of boxer shorts, and also a t-shirt. Now, everything else I will leave at work, but to be a little bit more representative, I'm also going to stick in a sweatshirt and a pair of jeans as well. Oh yeah, hair product too. Couldn't go anywhere without that. Now you know I'm lying. Don't use hair products. You knew that. The last time I was in a wind tunnel, I did not have glasses. No one told me how important they were because your eyes just stream. So, brought out the trusty old Bono glasses. Oh yeah.
Okay, Si, all good?
All good.
You gonna be okay?
Hopefully.
Right, good luck. Don't shout if there's a problem because we can't hear you. Oh, it's a heavy door. Whoa.
Sorry, I think the top.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This test will be repeated 3 times, one for each of our commuting setups. The first one being the rucksack. As you can see there. You can see here that the scientists of the wind tunnel, they're marking out Si's position on the bike so they can be sure that he recreates the same body position for each of our tests so that it's a fair comparison of the commuting setups. You okay?
Yes, I'm all right actually. I've forgotten how weird it is riding in a wind tunnel. The fact that the wind is completely constant, so it's just this white noise, really loud. But yeah, that was good. It just felt like riding home basically into a dark tunnel.
Bloody freezing too, I remember.
It was a little bit cold, but it's all right. It's kind of the amount of fanage I need actually when I'm training inside, so it should be about right.
Fanage.
Fanage,
Good
yeah.
word.
Run number 2 then, we've got the full bike packing kit. So we've got Topek's giant saddlebag, frame bag, and also the top loader there. Roughly the same volume size as the rucksack. The only slight thing I'm thinking, is I'm not really going to be able to get my laptop in here, but
Yeah, you
anyway.
can. It'll fit in there. That's huge. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Are you completely sure about this,
Yes,
Emma?
definitely. And then just pack the jeans around. Yeah, I mean, you would take longer than the commute just to pack the bags, but you know.
There's something slightly weird about having your underpants in a frame bag. I can't do it, Emma. I can't have a top tube bag. I reckon I can squish this stuff in elsewhere.
Yeah,
We've got plenty of room.
You've got loads of space. It's all about efficient packing, Si.
Yeah. Well, you've
Yeah.
inspired me with my laptop mudguard. So.
That does look a little bit like a triathlete's lunchbox, really, doesn't it? So the important thing here is we have Si in the same body position. That's why we drew lines around why the scientists drew lines around the outside of his body. But the only thing that's changed is the luggage position, because you can only change one variable at a time or we get confusing results. So as Stefano was saying, on the screen we can see the top number is Si's cadence, then here you have his speed. You have a power meter?
No, we don't have a power meter. We have a force balance that is below the rider, so that we measure the wind force through a force balance.
Yeah, so this is the wind speed, the velocità, and then the bottom number, that's the drag force. So that's literally the drag he is experiencing as measured by the force balance.
Yeah.
Okay, still alive?
Just about, yeah.
Good work. It doesn't look easy.
Well, no, I mean the riding itself was fine, but yeah, I mean there's not much to tell really. Like, the bags were just kind of out of my way, and
had to hold the position that looked like it was getting a bit tiring after a while.
well, yeah, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but yeah, it's all good. No, I'm going to be fascinated to see the results on that one. Something very new and different. From modern bike packing now to old school, we've got a beautiful pair of handmade panniers. I think we've pretty much doubled the volume, Emma, don't you think? So
Yep.
maybe I'd better take like a week's worth of stuff actually to work this
Or a
time.
big lunch.
3-course lunch. Yeah, now we're talking. Right, let's do some packing. Yeah, you stick them on your side.
Yeah, okay.
I'll deal with the pants.
Yeah. All set up there?
Ready?
See you on the other side. I won't be sorry to see the back of this door. Si is pedalling away in the wind tunnel on his third run. This time we've got the old school panniers, and he's being very tough and hanging in there with the same body position as before. And here we can see, this is the screen that he can also see almost. We can see that this number here, the drag force, is in red because it's higher than last time. So, and in fact, it's higher than the first time. So I think the scientists here are going to talk us through the results later. But the interesting thing you can see straight away is that with the panniers, his drag is significantly higher than with either the rucksack or the giant saddlebag. So at the moment, you can see that we're changing the yaw angle. So we're changing size rotation to the wind, which means that it's effectively like having a crosswind as you're riding your bike. And the funny thing is, with the saddlebags, the number is occasionally green, which means that it's occasionally lower than it was with the rucksack, which means that potentially, I'm hypothesizing, these saddlebags acting like a bit like a disc wheel, and then they're acting like a sail effect for the crosswind. I'm just making that up, so it's probably not true. The scientists here will tell us later. Momentary values don't really matter, it's the average over 2 minutes that's important. Well done, Si.
Thank you, thank you.
I know it's quite hard work hanging on there in the wind tunnel. I've got some slightly bad news for you in that scientists down there say we have to do a baseline test without any luggage at all. So we've got to take the panniers off again, and you're going to have to go through it all
One more
again.
time.
I'm really sorry.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, but
It's good for you. I mean, it's a little bit of training.
bit of training. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
He's
Panniers
tough.
off.
He's tough. It's good.
This baseline test will allow us to see just how much drag I actually create, minus any luggage at all. As well as being a point of interest, it also acts as a control to make sure that the data from the other tests can be put into context. So over to test engineer Stefano Giappino.
So we're going to talk through the results of the commuter comparison with Stefano, the test engineer here at the wind tunnel. And Stefano, can you explain, you've changed that drag force that you measured into watts, is that correct?
Yes. Starting from the drag force we got from the balance, we compute the power to go at 40 km per hour. So this is the power to overcome 40 km per hour of wind.
And so we've got the various different positions of the commuter luggage there, and these equate to the different setups that Sai had. So we have the rucksack, the giant saddlebags, and the panniers. So Stefano, what can we see from the results?
Okay, so we started with no bag at all. Then if we add the bag on the back, like this, we go in this position, so this is slower.
So there's more watts drag?
Yes, more watts, more drag. And if we put the bags on the real wheel, this position, this is the worst position
so
we
panniers,
found.
Panniers are the worst?
Yeah.
Right.
But finally, if we put on the bike, like the saddle, and in this position,
Giant saddlebag.
we have almost no difference. So you should put in this position.
Good to know. Thank you very much.
We've had the top line results. Emma, can you hit us with some wattages?
Hit you with a wattage, indeed. So between the best and the worst, there was actually 20 watts difference.
20
which is
watts.
Quite a lot. So best was the giant saddlebag, which acts like a sort of bum fairing, I think you could say.
Brilliant, we all need one of those.
And that was similar to baseline of no luggage. In fact, even at low yaw angle, so a direct headwind, that might even be slightly faster than no luggage in aerodynamic terms.
Interesting stuff. And then the panniers, so they were 20 watts slower
Yep.
than our giant saddlebag.
Yeah, and if you don't like panniers anyway, that's, good reason not to use them, I suppose.
Yeah, now the thing for me actually was the fact that the rucksack was in the middle, and the guys downstairs were saying that a lot depends on your actual position on the bike. So I adopted a relatively sedate position, and because of my helmet getting in the way and because the rucksack was quite narrow, actually it didn't perhaps cause as much disturbance as they otherwise thought it might have done. But if my position was more aerodynamic, then that would have been more of a hindrance. Is that right?
Yeah, so your rucksack was effectively behind your helmet, so actually almost like a fairing behind the helmet.
Head fairing this time.
Head fairing.
Whereas if one was to get super aero, maybe even commuting for some reason on a time trial bike, the giant saddlebag is definitely the way forward.
Yeah, And I should add that these wattage differences, that's at 40 kilometers an hour, and you do get a reduction in advantage as you go slower. And I'm not sure how many people commute at 40k an hour.
I think it depends on the traffic, really.
Yeah.
As a fellow seasoned commuter then, now we're armed with the data. Are you going to change anything?
Well, I have to say that I do really like my giant saddlebag, although I've been told off by a lot of people for sartorial reasons that it's not pretty. But I don't care. I like the fact that I have a sweat-free back. But in terms of ease of use, for me, always rucksack, because it's just so easy to sling it on and off. And my saddle is so low that I run the risk with this giant saddlebag of it rubbing on the back wheel, which is definitely not quicker, I can tell you that.
Right. So for me, I think, I did say at the beginning that I would go whatever was fastest. I think the convenience of the rucksack still is possibly going to win out for me. On my longer commutes, where I want the bike to feel nice and normal and manoeuvrable and chuckable, I'm still going to go with the rucksack. But actually, I would be tempted to dabble with a giant saddlebag for when I need to get from A to B as fast as possible. And that has opened my eyes, in fact, to bike luggage. So watch this space.
So if you happen to commute and you're interested in saving a few minutes, why not check out GCN's earlier video, Pimp My Commute?
That's right, save minutes, get up later and have more fun. We've got to say a big thanks as well before we go to Politecnico Milano for loaning us their wind tunnel, loaning us their expertise. It's been absolutely brilliant and there are more videos coming up soon. I'll give it a big thumbs up.